Welcome to the Shared Path. I'm Maggie Linton. I'm very excited to chat with my next guest, Carl Powell. He has more than 40 years training, motivating, and entertaining people around the world by mindfully moving them to become more physically fit for life. He's also an author, personal wellness coach, and I call him my godsent. So, very pleased to welcome my dear friend, Carl Powell. Welcome, Carl.
Well, thank you, Maggie. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Well, I'll tell you, you've been helping people be their best selves, as I said now, for over 40 years. And
Mm.
I've got to tell my story first. I'm going to start with me first. Folks,
Let's
as
start
you
with you.
know, I started my podcast on April 20th. That was a dream. And I told it to Carl, and somebody else was supposed to help me get it on there. He got called into work. Then another friend Carl, was supposed to help me. And oh, wow, he had moved to a different state. And then Carl called me, who lives in Hawaii, just out of the blue and said, "Something told me to call you." I said, "Carl, I need to get my show on the air." He said, "Send me the stuff." And here I am. So, Carl, I love you. I kept saying that day, and to this day, you are God sent, but you are God sent for so many people around the world whom you have helped make better and get more physically fit, but not necessarily just jumping up and down. Let's start
Yeah,
with your story that began in Pennsylvania growing
in
up.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I grew up in Pittsburgh, and no one in my family worked out, exercised. There was never a thought of it. We came from a place where we were just trying to live and survive. So my parents didn't have time for that. And so I was an overweight child, lost weight, but couldn't figure out how to maintain a normal body weight. I either had to be anorexic or fat. Those are the only two ways that I knew. Those were the only two ways that were offered to me. So through that, I found fitness and I started taking aerobic classes. I think I was 20, and by the time I was 21, I was teaching. And I had no idea. That's why I keep telling people all the time, don't judge your lessons because you have no idea where they will take you. Uh, I had no idea that fitness would take me anywhere. I did it because I wanted a free gym membership. They said if you teach the aerobic class, you get a free gym membership. I wanted to work out. That's what I did. 43 years later, I'm still at it. So
But
absolutely
you're
love
not
what I
in a
do.
gym, you're in your own healing garden now.
Oh, times have changed, life has changed, my clients have changed, and thank God my location has changed because I've traveled the world and seen everything, but I've always had a infinity for the island of Maui. There's a kind of peace and serenity that I couldn't find anywhere else on earth. And I landed here, and I think it was my first long, deep breath because the air here is so fresh and wonderful and it's filled with mana, which is energy. And that energy just filled me up the very first time. And I thought, this is where I want to be. But it took a little bit of life adjusting to get here. But I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, you are. You're there. But I want to back up because you spent a little bit of time, as I said, around the world. And oh
Yes.
my goodness, Germany
Mm.
sticks out in particular as a time that truly changed your life and the lives of
Mm.
others.
I got an opportunity to go to Germany for a 6-month contract to help a health club start their fitness program. And I went there and I had no idea what Germany was going to be like. I got there and it opened up a whole new world of things for me. I saw a society that was different than I thought. As a Black man, I wasn't prejudged by what people thought the American style. I was prejudged by they saw Black people as rap stars and football stars. And so if I was American and I was Black, I had to be cool, which was a whole different mentality going in, which I didn't expect. So I ended up spending 7 years there, just enjoying the hospitality and becoming an ambassador for the United States because it was so important for me to make an example to show people what Black people in America were really like. And so that became a job. I didn't know that was a job till I got there and I realized, oh, how I show myself is going to be how they see you when you come to visit. And it became a beautiful thing.
And When you said it opened up doors, you became kind of a sponsor representative for some American based companies also.
Yeah, so QVC is what happened, and they had an opening at QVC. And I tell people this all the time. I had never considered doing that. Somebody called me up and said, "Hey, would you like to audition?" I went in. There were 300 people in line. End of the day, they said, "Carl, you have this job." I didn't even speak German yet, and they took the time to teach me German so that I could do the job. And it was eye opening. It was wonderful because everywhere I went after that, everybody knew me. Anyone who watched QVC, I would go to the grocery store, and German people would come over and start up conversations with me about what was in my grocery basket. Or so it made me a little celebrity in a whole new place. But it people always were offering to help because they thought this is a celebrity. So if I couldn't say bread, they would teach me brochen, and they would teach me the word. They were really focused and were so kind on making sure that I knew what I was doing and what I was talking about. Um, a very German people are they're very different than Americans. Americans are friendly on the outside and not so friendly on the inside. And in German, they call that term Überflächlich, which means American people are friendly over their skin, Überflächlich, but not inside. The German people are the reverse, very cold on the outside, but once you weave your way in, you can't get out. I mean, you're friends for life. They just are. So I learned a lot about who I was, how I saw the world. I tell young Black men, if you've never left this country, leave for a little while because you'll come back with a totally different opinion of the world and yourself.
All right. You were in Germany for a while, and
Mm.
then you said, okay, gotta head back home because of
uh,
family and friends. And as you
uh-huh.
came back home, other doors opened for you, didn't they?
Oh, beautiful things happened. I came back first to Hawaii and I worked with the Ritz Carlton and helped them build their wellness program because they were doing fitness, not wellness. And then when I had exhausted that, I came back to Maryland and lived there, opened up a yoga and Pilates studio before there was any Pilates in Maryland whatsoever.
Right.
And I got to teach people in Maryland what Pilates was and what breath work was and the importance of rooting yourself. And through that, I've made clients that I still have to this day because we do it on Zoom 6 days a week. So life, if you listen, if you put your ear to the ground and you really listen, life will tell you everything you need to know.
The other thing you did, and I say the name Tom Joyner, and you were busy on those cruises with him too, weren't you?
Another one of the most wonderful experiences of my life. If you hear me say that a lot, because I've had lots of wonderful experiences, but I worked with Tom's ex-wife Donna, and so we did 7 years of fitness on the Tom Joyner cruise, which meant I got to be in Tom Joyner's room, which meant I got to meet everybody: Star Jones, Bootsy Collins, the Parliament, the Funkadelics, the Spinners, the OJs, you name it, I met them. And that was a wonderful thing because I got to see myself like them and they saw me like them. You know, as people, we tend to always look up at celebrities. But when you look level, you realize that we're all the same. And we need to stop looking up and start looking level because that's who we are as people. But we tend to, as people, want to idolize other people. But when you realize the same people who idolize you, who you idolize, can idolize you in return, it brings you to level. Uh, and that was a beautiful space.
You also, one of the things, other than staying fit and that kind of thing, you base so
Mhm.
much of it also on nutrition. Because I've got a couple of your cookbooks, but all of
Uh-huh.
the cookbooks also include wisdom. And
Mm-hmm.
wisdom is one of the most important things about listening, as you just said moments ago, to your body,
Mm-hmm.
and it will tell
Mm-hmm.
you what it needs.
Your body constantly is sending you messages. Every ache, every pain, it's a message. And so often we tend to take a Tylenol or an Advil to get rid of that pain when that pain was really giving you a signal that you needed to fix or change something. So we have to first realize that not every pain is deadly or bad for you. It's a signal. So when you begin to listen to your body's messages with love, it changes your perspective. Yeah, my shoulder hurts today. So what do I need to do to help my shoulder feel better other than say, oh, my shoulder hurts. I hate it. So you can take real negative energy and put into that shoulder, and that's what it'll hold. Or you can send it loving messages. What do I need to do for my shoulder today? Maybe I need to do flexibility exercises. When you start to have self talk that is positive with your body starts to respond in kind. So when I'm speaking kindly to my body, if I say, because I hear people say it all the time, oh, I hate my stomach. I said, imagine what life would be like if you didn't have one at all. You couldn't live without a stomach. So you got to love it into wellness. You got to love it to be better. If you say, I hate my legs, they hate you too. But without legs, you couldn't walk. So you have to love your legs and say, I love you and I want you to be better. And that's a conversation you need to have with your body because your body listens.
One of the other things I know in taking your yoga and Pilates classes, I would like to record how many times you say breathe. And I've told you that. I said, how many thousands of times did you tell us to breathe that day? Because people don't realize how much they are really not breathing.
Okay, I'm going to say this loud and clearly for everyone. Respiration is automatic. Breath work or breath is a practice. So with breath, you have to practice breathing. Respiration will give you very shallow breaths. It'll give you enough oxygen to live, but it won't give you enough oxygen to live well or freely. So breath is one of the most important things when you think about what your body content is. O2 is very important for that mix. And so just learning how to breathe and breathe deeply will change your mindset. It'll change your body composition just by adding more oxygen to the mix.
Of course, they can do that by being part of your classes because you're
I
always saying,
always,
breathe.
yeah. Well,
um,
the classes should bring you into the mindset. I always tell people what happens in classes, you go into a hypnosis. So, and when you go into that hypnosis, and I keep telling you to breathe, 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 that hypnosis reverberates through the rest of your day. I even have clients who tell me one client, her husband has never taken my class. He only hears her taking my class online. And he says when he walks, he hears my voice telling him to breathe. So it's got to become a practice. So he heard me say it, he heard me say it, and he made it mentally a practice, which
mhm.
went right into his physical practice when he walked.
Yeah,
So respiration, automatic breath is work.
yeah, it really
Yeah,
does. You
yeah.
do so much in your community, especially now of age, AARP. Talk about
Yeah.
that collaboration where you're helping so many other people.
Well, I volunteered to be on the AARP speaker board in the state of Hawaii. The reason for that was my mother. My mother passed away a few weeks ago from dementia. And I always thought if I helped her keep her body really strong, she was going to be good. So we exercised, we walked, but I didn't catch all of the important things about cognitive brain health. I missed that. And so when the AARP, when I saw them and I saw they have a lecture called the 6 Pillars of Brain Health, where I get to go out and educate people on how to maintain your cognitive health. I thought, well, this would be a great way to dedicate to my mother what we missed. Because her body was healthy when she passed, but her brain had just gone.
I
So
used
it
to
took
have
her even,
classes with her, when
yeah,
you were
yeah,
living
yeah.
in Maryland. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's very important to socialize and keep that social engagement. So often, as older people, I'm just going to call myself older people too. We lose connection with our friends and our family. We tend to isolate ourselves a lot more. It's very important to listen to the sound of other people's voices and thoughts, because if you get too deeply involved in your own voice and your own thoughts, you start to lose cognitive health because you're not interacting. The importance of just engaging your brain, learning new things, a language, reading books. As we age, it's very important to hold on to those things and to always do those things. Stress management, and we're going to do a little tapping a little later on, but stress management for everybody is so important because we all live in stress. It might be past trauma, it might be something that's happening right now, but for most people, they live in the stress of what's going to happen next. You know, what now? What's going to happen next? And we don't know what's going to happen next. And as long as we put our intention here, we lose our intention here. So we really have to pull our intention to this moment. And stress reduction is simply realizing that at this moment we're okay, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
So we're either reflecting from the past or pushing things into the future instead of just being here. Because right here at this moment, if we're living, we're breathing, we're okay.
And
Yeah.
that's the one thing that you make it available for people to do that. Talk about
Mhm.
Go on the Grow.
Go on the Grow is my online program. Being in Hawaii, one of the things that was really hard with me and my clients was time restriction. So a person would tell me, "Oh, I want to work out at 6 o'clock in the morning." Well, that's midnight for me here. So no, I can't do that for you.
You ain't gonna see me.
Yeah. As much as I'd love to be there with you, I can't do that. And so now I record my daily motivations, my daily classes. So on my site right now, there's probably 100 different classes you can choose from. Some of their some of them are as gentle as sitting in a chair and exercising. Some of them are as core strengthening exercises. We do meditation classes, we do qigong classes, and qigong is the newest thing. If you haven't heard about it, study it, find out about it, because it's going to be the next thing. I guarantee you that, because not only is it a wonderful practice, it works. And it can really help you with your breath and your balance and your stress management. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, uh, but the
Go ahead and
importance
talk
of
about it right now. I mean, I know what Qigong is. And as I explained
mm,
to you, at first I thought it was just too
mm,
slow for me because,
uh,
even with Pilates or yoga, there's a little bit more movement. But
mm,
yoga Qigong kind of makes you more conscious from head to toe in a
mm,
different sort of way.
yeah. Qigong is the mother of all martial art. And because it's the mother because the first thing you learn in any martial art practice is being in the moment, being calm, and being in touch with your breath. So what qigong does is it teaches you first to be grounded, because so often we're up here and we're not grounded into the earth. Then it teaches you natural life flow, side to side, forward and back. Now you're breathing, so it improves your breath. Now you're going back and forth and your body starts to move into a meditation because so much of your body is water and that water is rocking back and forth. It takes you into a meditative state. So what qigong is, simply to put, is a moving meditation. It puts you in a space of just being able to move through space and relax your mind and your body so that you can be with your spirit. So one of my favorite things to do. And if you haven't tried it, try it, please. One of the best things I've ever done in the 43 years that I've been teaching.
Yeah, because we don't need to pound ourselves into the ground anymore.
Well, the ground isn't there for us anymore. That's for younger people, and it's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Every part of your life is for something different.
Mhm.
Hopefully, at this point in our lives, we're all reaching for wholeness, because wholeness suggests that we're ready to leave here when we do, because we've done all that we wanted to do, mind, body, and spirit. In order to reach wholeness, you have to become whole with yourself. And that's why I really believe in mind body work. I really believe in focusing on your intentions and how you live. Because if I don't teach people anything else, everything that I do, everything that I talk about is about mindfulness. Just being right here, right now in your body. Where's my hands? Where are my feet on the earth? Are my feet on the earth? Is my heart elevated? Is my chest lifted? Am I breathing deeply and all of those things happen with mindfulness, because when we're not mindful, everything's just flopped out and we're not aware of even where we are in space. So we're not aware or enjoying fully this moment. Wholeness brings me to a place where I can enjoy this moment because I'm not worried about the past. And whatever happens in the future is good for me. Those are bonus points.
Mm.
Because I'm whole. Yeah,
Yeah. And it's
yeah.
also being able to, in a sense, let go of the past and be more
Mm,
in the present on an
mm.
everyday, all day long basis.
I learned something most provocative about myself. I always would tell people you cannot change the past.
Mm.
You can't change the past. You can't change the past. Let it go. You can't change the past. But then I'm just realizing with the passing of my brother passed away in November, my mother in April, you can change the past by changing how you think about it. Because you can't change the events of the past, but you can certainly change the way you feel about what happened. You can say my parents were horrible people and they beat me all of the time, or you can say my parents were people who were just trying to get through and they were doing just what they learned from their parents. So it wasn't their fault; it was their fate. It's what happened. And so when you realize that that was just their fate, they didn't do it to be mean to you. They were just surviving the best way that they could. Your attitude towards your childhood changes, and when that changes, the past changes because you're no longer holding on to resentment or hate or I wish I would have or woulda, coulda, shoulda, because now I'm at peace with that. So becoming at peace with your past changes your
Amen. And when you said you can't go back,
past.
we can't go back and get the last 10, 15 minutes that we've been chatting. So I totally agree with you. One other thing is you make your classes so beautiful by doing them from the healing garden. And
Mhm,
you really give us that beautiful vegetative
mhm,
vegetable, I mean, not vegetables, but floral arrangements
mhm,
and flowers and things. There's such a
mhm,
calming when we enter the healing garden.
mhm. I'll tell you a funny thing about me in the garden. Pre-pandemic, I had never grown a plant in my life. I saw them sitting around. I always thought they were nice, had no time, patience, or want to play with plants. The pandemic happened, and all of a sudden I had all of this time on my hands. And I wanted to create something beautiful. And we had just moved into a place, and I just one day in my space, I said, I think I'm gonna have a garden. And it started with one or two plants. And I did the one or two plants and I loved it. I went out and I watered them and I talked to them. And then next thing it was 10, and then it was 20, and then it was 30. I think I probably have about 100 plants right now. Lots of orchids. What the biggest lesson in the garden was, whatever I gave my attention to grew. So because I was putting all my attention and intention into the plants, they grew and they flourished. And it made me realize whatever you do in your life, if you do the same, it will grow and flourish. And so the garden for me was my lesson about setting my intentions on making things grow. How do you make things grow? Growth is the most important thing that we do. We're either growing and thriving or we're wilting or dying. And you have a choice. Which one do you choose to do? But we all want to grow and thrive, but we have to set our intention and our attention to growth. And that's why I call my business Grow with Carl, because I think it's important to realize that at any moment, at any time, any stage in your life, no matter your illness, no matter your pain or your heartache, you can grow and you can
Yeah.
feel better.
That's the whole idea, is to also feel better and be
Mm-hmm.
accepting of whatever it is that may be good, bad, or indifferent. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, you can't change it. So it
Mm-hmm.
is the level of acceptance that move us all forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm ready for some tapping. Folks,
Okay,
you're going to
let's do
love this. You're going to absolutely
it.
love what Carl is getting ready to do for us because I asked for it. Because I kind of do it like on a regular basis. I'm getting my fingers ready.
Okay.
talk,
Okay,
talk,
so
talk us through a couple of things.
emotional freedom tapping or EFT is becoming very popular right now. It is about reduction of stress, anxiety, and it helps with depression and just overall managing your stress level. It is all based on letting go of whatever your thoughts are. The tapping is vibration. And just like humming, which makes you feel better in yoga, it's the vibration that is the healing part. So with tapping, it's just the vibration, but we add not only the vibration, but we add intention and then purpose. So the first thing I ask people to do before we tap is to put your feet flat on the earth and just feel the ground underneath your feet. So now we're grounded into the earth. Next, you're going to lift up your chest, elevate your heart, and just place your hands on your thighs with your palms up. And then we're just going to relax our eyes. So you're going to focus on first just breathing in and out, just natural breathing in and out, judgment free. And as we breathe in and out, we're going to scan our body and notice what our stress level is at this moment. Is it a 1 where we have no stress at all? Or is it a 10 where we're completely stressed? Let's give ourselves a number. How you feel at this moment. So now we have our number. Just move your fingers and toes. And let's open our eyes so we can chat. So tapping, we're going to start with 2 fingers on each hand. And we're going to start right at the eyebrow, where the eyebrows meet. So this is our thinking. This is what we're always thinking. So we're going to begin to tap lightly. And then you relax your eyes and bring your focus back to your breath. And as we breathe, we're going to think, letting go helps me be in a more peaceful state. It's okay to let go. Whatever worry or problem, fear or doubt I have, it's okay to let that go and just breathe, just tapping. And then soft eyes open, we're going to come out to the sides of our eyes, just out to the very sides. And this is where we're always given that side eye, always looking for something to happen. I don't always have to be focusing on what's going to happen next or what just happened. Focus on what is happening in this moment. It's okay to let go of the future. It's okay to let go of the past and just be in this moment. And then we're just going to pause our tapping. And we're going to skip a few and we're going to come down right below our lip, 2 fingers right below your lip. And this is the words that come out of our mouth. So we're going to start to tap and relax your eyes. It is okay to let go of the stress that I have at this moment. What is not okay is to let that stress go on other people, places, or things. I will guard what comes out of my mouth. And if I feel like something negative is going to come out, I'll pause, reset, and change those words to positive. I have a choice of what comes out of my mouth. And then we're going to pause our tapping and just relax your hand. Hands come on your thighs again, elevate your heart and just relax. And then get internal. And we're going to check our number from 1 to 10. And just notice where you are at this moment. And then just start to move your fingers and toes. And our soft eyes will open. So as you go, did your number change?
Yes. Because, I keep tension up here in my shoulders all the time. And by the time I got through with my tapping, I'm going, oh, shoulders feel better. They feel a lot better. But then they always do when I do this. So that's wonderful. That's why I said, it's so simple for us to begin to take care of ourselves. This is not all that we need to do, but just a simple beginning. And I can feel my face also relaxing as I go. So, that's
it's important to view your body as a whole, your mind, your body, and your spirit, and then think, is there one thing that I can do today to make myself feel better, mind, body, and spirit? If it's sharing a smile with someone, if it's giving advice to someone, if it's taking your time to take care of your garden and take care of your plants, all of those things, you think you're giving that energy up, and realizing energy is endless, period. So energy out brings energy back in. So when you start to give your attention and intention to things, whatever you put out there, it's going to reflect back towards you. So when I go out and I feed my plants and I talk to them, when I come back in, I'm full.
Yeah. You are
And
very
when you do
full.
that, and when you do that with your body remembers, your body appreciates. Your body knows that your arm is supposed to reach up like this. But if you don't do that every day 10 times, your body is not so happy that you're not doing it. And maybe that's what it's trying to tell you with the pain in your shoulder is that you need to move this. Anytime I move my arm, I get more circulation in that area. I get more warmth, more healing in that area. So sometimes beginning to heal might be just as simple as doing this with my shoulders every morning and just releasing tension. And if I start there and I do that for 6 weeks and that makes me feel better, I'll be ready to move to the next step. A client of mine said the other day that she told a friend, "Oh, you should take Carl's class." And she said, "Oh, I'm in a lot of pain right now. My back hurts." And she went through all of her pains. And my client's response was, "If I waited to be out of pain to exercise, I would never exercise."
Hey, that's true. That's one of the main reasons why I think a lot of people don't exercise is
Yeah,
because they think it's going to be painful. Where they don't realize is you can get out of pain.
right, exactly. And exercise can be easy or hard. It's your choice. There are qigong, there's tapping, there are so many ways to connect with yourself that you don't have to go in. Where I know I learned in the pandemic, for example, don't really like to exercise. I like to teach exercise.
Wait a minute. What?
Exactly, right? I was shocked. The pandemic happened and I got all my weights out and I put them on and I went out there and I started exercising and I was like, this is boring. Um,
But you don't,
I
but
had,
see, you're right. You are a great teacher
yeah,
because I'm never bored in your classes.
yeah,
Never.
yeah. But I realized that my real true love is teaching and helping people heal. The exercise for me, I have to work at it. I have to write a little note and put on my treadmill and say, "Okay, Carl, get on here for 30 minutes," because I have to make myself do it just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm not, I didn't, some people like my friend Kathy, who you're going to interview, she
Yeah.
loves exercise. She make me sick with it. She jumping, kicking. She's 1 year younger than me. I'm like, I wish. But some people do. Some people just love it. I
Hmm.
love what I know it will do for me, and I also love to teach other people because I know that will do it for them. But when it comes to doing it for myself, I still have to get in there and mentally convince myself it's time to exercise and let's go. I do it, but it's not the same as my friend Kathy who loves to exercise.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she
And
does.
she got a set of guns too, which people will see. I hope she shows it that day when I finally get Kathy Murphy on. She's fabulous too. But
Mm,
part of why I love doing this show is because we can tell people there are many different ways to get to a good end for
mm.
ourselves.
Mm. And I want to commend you on what you're doing because I'm editing your shows, I get to watch all of your shows. But your teachings are magnificent and so much needed because there are so many things that we forget that are important to continue to teach ourselves. The lady, excuse me, white lady or whatever,
Yeah.
what's the name of her
Dear White
book?
Woman,
But
Please Come Home
yeah,
by Kimberly
such
Williams.
such great stories that we all have. We all have them. Uh, Things that happen to us that you can't even explain. And if you let them dig into you, or you can let them lift you up
Right.
one way or another. She told a story about being handicapped and being in a handicapped space and someone judging her because only saw her from the neck up. And people do that all the time. We're so quick to
Oh, yeah.
prejudge when we see this. Once I was with my mother and she rode by this guy and she said, "Oh, he's good looking." I said, "Yeah, but you don't even know if he has legs." He was saying, he just, you don't know. But we do. We all go through the same struggles. Sometimes we don't give them names. Sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for what we're going through. So I love when someone else tells a story, then it validates for me that I can then have my story too and be okay with it. So
Well, you have
I loved her stories.
Oh yeah, she's really good. You know, when
Mm,
you said your mom
mm.
says, "Oh, you know, so and so is really good looking," and people say, "Oh, you're married," and I say, "Yeah, I'm married, but I'm not blind." You know, so I can still look. When something
Yeah.
looks good, they look good, whether it's male, female, good looking dog, whatever. I'm happy about that. You know, it's made my eyes a little better that day.
And that's the beauty of appreciating the things that are put in front of you.
Hmm.
Instead of saying, "Oh, I'm married. I can't notice that this guy is really good looking," or "I can't notice that this woman is really beautiful." Some women won't notice another woman's beautiful because it makes them feel less beautiful. But I say use that energy to lift you up. If I see another person and I think they're really beautiful, I just try to get close to them and find out what it is and
Yeah,
absorb it into my spirit. Pull it in. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I met you and I love the way you talk. I love the way you did. And so I met you and I just reeled it in. I learned from Maggie pacing and all of those things. Maybe you don't know I was studying you all this time, but I've been studying you since I met you. But you teach me ways to be better. And when
And
you surround your
you
yeah, yeah, when you surround yourself with people that are always reaching to make you a little bit better so that you can get a little bit better, growth is also environmental. If a plant doesn't grow, you don't kill it, you change its environment.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. I like that, Carl. Carl, I think I'm going to leave on that one. Needless to say, it was great seeing you. I know you're going to be back on, as
Yeah.
well as we're going to have Kathy on, because we got to get folks ready for the summer. You know, because folks
Yeah,
start talking
that's
about
what I've
those
said.
swimsuit things, and I'm going, well, I'm not going to be in a swimsuit, but I
Mm,
can still be a lot better in my summer clothes.
exactly. You don't want
Yeah,
to end up on TikTok as a
no.
joke, right?
Very true. Any last words you want to leave with our listeners?
Listeners, please learn to breathe and breathe well. Grow where you are planted. Wherever you are, right there, you can start to get better. It's setting your attention and intention on yourself, mind, body, and spirit, growth and change. Change is going to happen. Growth is your choice.
All right. And they can find everything at carlpowell.com. Am I correct?
CarlPowell.com, or you can go to growwithcarl.com. And if you want to check out the on the go program, it's goonthegrow.com. Oh, the go on the go dash. But I'm going to put it at the end of the video so everybody can see it and visit me.
So it gets the dots, the comms, the grow,
And
the
it's that,
dashes,
yeah, dashes.
everything.
Yeah.
So good to see you. You know how
So
much I
good to see
love
you
you.
always. I
And
love you too,
thank
Maggie.
you because I love you too, and you are God sent. Folks, this is it. This man helped me help my dream come true. And that's another thing for another time. But, you know, when you put your dreams out to the universe, there are always those who are there to help you to make your dreams come true. And Carl Powell is one of them. And I love you forever for that.
Love you too.
All right. Folks, once again, many thanks to my friend Carl Powell. Please visit his website, carlpowell.com. Of course, he's going to put it on the back end too, so you can know where else he can be seen. And do look out, check out his program. If you're ready to go and grow, he's the man to help you to get there. No matter what age you are, now is the right time for you to start. Until next time, seek peace and spread lots of love. I'm Maggie Linton.